Hello, everybody. This is Founder Laerun. I'm here with Lady Shel. Welcome back to Fantasy Grounds Unity A through Z. This is episode 4. We're getting into combat. This is going to be a very basic combat tutorial. It's not going to be very advanced. Lady Shel is hosting me right now. I am on the battle map. I'm on the combat tracker, and Lady Shel has set up a scenario for me. So, Lady Shel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We are going to be doing some Unity combat here, and let me load the encounter here so that the characters on the table can see what's going on.
As she's doing that, I'm going to explain. I have control over 2 characters. I have the Dwarven Cleric, which she's right over here on the top here on the right, and I have this Halfling Rogue that's on this hillock. If I want to switch between these 2 characters, I just have to toggle between the profile pictures. So on the top left corner of Fantasy Grounds, I'm clicking on whatever player I'm going to be using. That also brings the character sheet up to the front. So I have a basic idea of what I'm looking at. And then for each character, I'm going to be on the Actions tab. And then I want to change the mode to Combat and Display as Actions. So now I have my Combat and my Features Actions. And I'm going to do the same thing for the Dwarf. I'm going to change this over to Actions. I want to be in Combat and Actions, in which she is. And then on both the sheet below, where the hot slots are, I already have the shortcuts for the Dwarven Cleric. So I have the initiative roll, I have the pass turn or end turn button, which is on the combat tracker, turn complete. And then I have some of my major skills, which are in here, that I consider things that I'll be using quite a bit. So that's Perception, Medicine. I have a spiritual weapon description here from a spell so that I can read it in case I get confused of what I need. But that's basically how I prep for a game, and I have the screen laid out a certain way. And this is very critical to running a game or even playing in it. And I have the dice tower right next to the dice. So if I want to drop one in here for a hidden roll, if my game master, in this case Lady Shel, says, drop it in the dice tower, I can drop it. I know that I've rolled a d20, but I won't see the result. So these are things that you need to get used to as a player. And as far as movement goes, you have to go by what's on your character sheet. So in this case, it says 25 feet for a dwarf, and it's going to be 25 feet for a halfling as well. So you need to pay attention to that, so you can only move roughly 5 squares. Right as of now, the screen does not get locked. It's an honor system, so when you move, you need to ask about the terrain and hills and mountains and such, or caves and visibility and those sort of things. So take advantage of the fact that there's no locked tokens. I will defer to Lady Shel. So what's happening, Lady Shel?
Basically, I'm going to be loading some bears that are going to be waking up from hibernation and start to get a little hungry. And maybe they're going to travel down the mountain because I guess I shouldn't say where they are until Laerun's characters can see them. But they're somewhere on this map, and I'm going to start moving them away so they start heading towards the characters because they hear the noise down here. I believe that our Dwarven Cleric is taking a sample of the rock over here. She is like tapping on the rock, and that noise kind of got the bear's attention. So the bear started traveling down, and I'm going to make my bear visible, even though none of the players are looking in the direction of the bear, just so you guys that are watching our stream can see where my bear is coming from. We have the halfling up on the top of this bluff up here, and he is looking back towards the other 2 characters in the far left corner, the Elven Ranger and the Total Druid, who are looking for some food for breakfast, and that is what's going on right now. I guess we won't roll initiative until you guys actually see the bear coming.
In this scenario, I'm over here clinking away on this, looks like a granite boulder field or something, and I'm testing for samples. So what would you ask me to do here if that was the case?
Well, considering that you are a cleric, a dwarf, that you might have the stone cutting skill, which gives you an advantage on doing stone cutting history checks. So I would ask you for a history check because you want to know about the history of this rock.
Yep.
You can do that in the tower, please.
So right now I don't have an effect for it, but I know how to handle it as a player. As I go to my skills, there is a history check. I can do it at twice my bonus here, which is a 2. So if I put +2 in the modifier box, that will simulate, or I click on +2, That'll simulate my expertise in stonework. So now I'm just going to take the history check and drag and drop it into the dice tower. I don't know the result, but I know it's been rolled.
And I will tell you that you notice that this is a nice heavy stone. It is definitely granite. It is something that your clan might be interested in coming back up here and mining some more of it for use down in the town there. So that's what you learn.
So I'm banging away on these rocks. So I'm kind of like clink, clink, clink. I have my little sample shovel, or maybe I have a little pick. Now what's happening here, Lady Shel?
Yeah, my bear hears that noise and it sees this nice little snack looking over at the
Oh
rocks.
no.
And it starts traveling a little bit closer and kind of gives you a little warning growl to give you some notice.
So
'cause
what's up?
apparently the rogue is still not paying attention.
So what's up now? Do we have to roll initiative, or are we?
Well, are you going to turn around and look at the growl? 'Cause if
Yeah,
you
so I
are,
hear
I'm
it.
gonna want you to roll initiative.
I look over my shoulder, and then I look over at the halfling and say, "Thanks a lot." So that's what I do, and I consider moving away. So that's where I'm at.
So
So
well, I would like everyone to roll initiative, and I'm guessing that the people that are not affected down in the corner there probably won't know anything about it. So we won't have them roll.
So
We'll
there's
just
her
have the
initiative.
cleric and the rogue will roll. Looks good.
And then I'm gonna roll for the rogue. Not bad.
Not bad considering the bear is like in last place there. So go ahead, halfling rogue, take your turn.
So I'm gonna say, "Watch out!" and shout over to the Dwarven Cleric. And it's a little late, but I went ahead and said, "Watch out." I was paying attention to my other fellows, so I screamed to them that there's a large bear in the area. And now I'm going to go since I've kind of made a big noise, I'm going to go and spend the rest of my turn trying to hide.
Give me a stealth check in the tower, please.
So I'm just going to slowly move, maybe 1, 2, 3, because I can only move half my movement rate. I'm at 25, so roughly 15, that's close enough. And then I am going to roll my. Well,
and
that's.
You're going to attempt to hide behind that bush.
Yeah, I'm hiding behind
I
these.
said you're going to attempt to hide behind that bush.
Yep, I'm going to hide back there, and I'm going to roll my stealth check in the dice tower. So on my sheet, if I don't have it shortcutted, drag and drop it down here into a hotkey or into the dice tower in this case. I don't want to use hotkeys because I already have Dwarven Clerics already in there, so I don't want to get confused. So I rolled my stealth, and you don't have to tell me whether I'm hidden or not. You just record the number and keep it in mind, and then the game master would probably compare it against the passive perception of the beast, and then the DM would describe what's going on with it. So that's basically his turn. So he's hiding. He shouted out a warning, and then he kind of moved away, and he's trying to hide up there in the hillock in some bushes. And he's going to take out his missile weapon. So he has a short bow, so he's going to take that out and try to remain stealthy. So that's his turn. When I'm done, I need to get used to clicking on turn complete. So once I'm done and I've made my declarations and I've given the dungeon master my actions, like what I'm going to do, and I'm all done, I'm going to go ahead and click the down arrow. Turn complete. There's my turn. That prompts me to look and pay attention. I have the Dwarven Cleric now. So I'm going to click on her profile picture. It brings up her character sheet. As I said earlier, I am controlling both of these characters. So the Dwarven Cleric doesn't have a whole lot of things to do. She can engage the bear, she can run away, I can do a dash action, or she can cast a spell, or a bonus action, whatever she needs to do. I think to be smart and to not get into confrontation with this bear, I'm going to run towards my allies. Because even though I'm not really chicken, I know not to tangle with a bear. So my instinct is to get the hell out of here. So rather than trying to attack it or face it, because I don't really want to attack a bear necessarily. So I'm going to go ahead and move her away from the bear, if that's okay.
Works for me.
So I can move double my movement rate, but I cannot do anything else. So I'm going to, I can take out my crossbow, but I can't fire it or aim it or anything, or even declare any action. So I'm just going to take that out as I'm running, and I'm going to move 50 feet total. So I move 10 squares times 5, that's 50. And then I'm just going to tell my friends, hey, there's a big bear over there. It's chasing me, or basically it's curious. It's hungry. So then I'm going to pass my turn. So now it's the turtle's turn.
I think they're just going to stay over here and continue looking for food. They think that they have faith in you guys and know that you guys will be just fine. So they're going to go like in the roughage or whatever, the brush over here a little bit more, and he's going to pass his turn. And the Elven Ranger will do likewise, and they will stay out of the combat. Pass his turn. Okay, Black Bear number 1 over here that is visible is going to start heading in that direction because it doesn't like the fact that its lunch got away. So the bear has movement of now you know that with your poor little 25 feet dwarven legs, the bear's is coming down on you, and it smells you. It definitely smells you with its keen smell. And yeah, that's where it's going to end.
So the rogue is going to peek and try to fire at the black bear from a position of stealth. So if he's hidden, you will let me know after I've made my attack roll. That way I'm not assuming I have sneak attack or anything like that. I will not know until I roll my damage. So I will go ahead and I will apply a penalty because of the terrain. Even though I'm up on a higher position, I am basically...
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, you're high, but that the bear is kind of at an awkward angle.
Yes. So I'm going to do a -2 to hit. Being that I'm hidden, I get advantage. So those are... Well, that's up to you, actually. Do I have advantage or not?
You do have advantage, so it seems like it cancels it out.
Now I'm going to target the bear. So to target, this is a very important thing that you should know as a player and a game master. I am holding down my right control key, and I can either click on the black bear on the map, or if I had my rogue here, I could take my crossbow and drag and drop it onto the bear as an attack roll, or the game master can change the targeting from within this combat tracker. I am going to just hold down my right control key and click on the bear too. So I need to click over to the halfling because this is his turn, not the dwarf's turn. So I'm going to go ahead and click on, again, I'm going to target. Oh, you have to click on the halfling first and then click on the bear. Now the rogue halfling is targeting the bear, and it's about 30 feet away. Might even be 35 because of the angle. So when you have a distance between combatant on different levels or different heights, you also have to consider, even though this is straight across, I'm not shooting through the dirt or through the ground. So I'm kind of lofting this thing up and over. So it's actually probably about 35, 40 feet in reality. Take a shot. So all I'm going to do now that it's targeted is double click on the attack roll from the short bow. And once I shoot, Fantasy Grounds will automatically check off one of the ammunition that I have. So here I go. Double click. Hope for the best. I have my modifiers ready to go. And let's try it out. So according to this, it looks like I hit. So now, Lady Shel, do I qualify for the sneak attack or not?
You do, because you were hidden prior to making your attack.
So this is where stealth kind of gets broken. Lady Shel doesn't say that I'm stealthy or not, because there's no way for me as a character to know that. So when people ask, are you stealthy? Am I sneaking? Am I sneaking? Am I, if I'm hidden enough or whatever it is, you need to let the DM describe the situation before anything. So make your attack roll first. If your DM says use advantage, then it's more than likely saying, yes, you probably are hidden, at least from that bear. Am I sneaking? That doesn't mean you're hidden from everything, but at least from your target. And then the other thing is that you wait till the attack roll to apply the sneak attack. Am I sneaking? So in this case, I have a 1d6. So I'm going to open this up. Now, normally this would be done for you. And I'm going to add the 2 because that's basically what the damage should be at this level. So now it's 2d6 damage. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to me, which gives me temporarily a 2d6 on any damage roll I make. And once I roll it, it will expire. So now I'm going to double click damage since I already have them targeted. So I made a sneak attack. Am I sneaking on the black bear? And it was successful. And Lady Shel said, yes, you were hidden. Advantage was applied during the attack. And now I get the sneak attack bonus. So I'm going to double click on the damage itself. Wow. Am I sneaking? Wow. Am I sneaking?
That was some arrow. That arrow right through the heart.
Oh my God. So he the halfling rogue like shot accurately and hit the bear. So what happened to the bear? I know it's dying, or what? The arrow went right through its heart?
Yeah, the arrow hit it right through its heart, and it's just like collapsed to the ground, and blood started oozing out of where the arrow was going, and its tongue is like hanging out, and it's just like took its last breath. It's gone.
So since I was successful, I'm going to move half my movement rate, so I'll move 10 feet down the hill. And I'm trying to circle around on the north part in stealth mode, so I'm going to roll my stealth check again.
That's okay.
And I'm only moving like, 10 or 15 feet because that's half of my movement rate. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my skill check for stealth. And Lady Shel or your game master can compare that to the passive perception of the bears or the enemies in the area. So she'll know if I'm hidden or not. I will not. I have to find out either through the context of what's happening in the game or based off the decisions of the NPCs. If they're attacking me, then I'm pretty sure they know where I'm at. That's how you would know. Not
and
just
that's
somebody.
why we use the dice tower to keep
Mhm.
things more exciting. Otherwise, you would know what you were doing. It wouldn't be so exciting.
So I don't even know if I'm hidden. I think I am, but I may not be based on the situation. So I think I'm hidden. I'm kind of stooped over and kind of keeping low, and I'm going down this little slope here. And I'm kind of work my way around the mound here. So that's the end of my turn. So now it is time for the Dwarven Cleric. She looks around and says, "Great shot." She is going to go over and verify that the bear has been slain. And she says something along the lines of, this might be some good meat. So she's going to move over and she's going to verify if the bear is dead. And what I would probably ask, or the GM will ask me, is to use a skill or just tell me what the situation is.
So if you'd like to know what's going on with the bear, I would ask you to do a medicine check, please.
So
In
I
the
want to
tower.
make sure that I have her character selected, in which I don't want to go through that again. And then on the hotkeys, I have the medicine check already hotkeyed. So I just drag and drop it in the dice tower. Lady Shel determines how difficult it would be for me to tell, and then she would give me information based on what I rolled.
I would say is you see all this blood coming out of the chest of the bear. You think it's dead,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not absolutely positive.
So I am going to take out my warhammer, and I want to make sure it's dead because I don't want it to come back. Is that okay if I strike it with my warhammer, like right on its skull?
Be my guest.
So I'll probably be advantaged since, well, it's already going to calculate what's going to happen. So I'm going to swing this not out of cruelty, but out of mercy and insurance. So I hit it, and I basically swung my hammer as hard as I could on its skull. So anything?
And you see brains starting to leak out, and you're sure it's dead now.
And I said, okay, that's it. I think he's dead, or it's dead. I don't know if it's a he or she. Is it a he or she? Can I tell?
It's a male.
So I don't feel as bad. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna need some help with this bear. We can probably sell its skins and maybe benefit from eating some of the meat, or at least trading it for something. Definitely want its claws and its teeth. So I'm thinking about harvest value at this point.
And I'm going to take the total off the map. He's continuing into the brush, so he will no longer be visible.
Okay.
And delete his token. And next turn, let me take him off the combat tracker also. Anyway, let's see. So all of a sudden, you hear some rustling over to the north of where the bear has just passed on. And it's another bear!
Oh crap.
And this is a female bear. And that's her mate, and she is pissed.
Uh-oh.
You guys killed her mate. So she is going to stay there and glare at you. You know she's going to attack you on her next turn, but that is where she's going to end her turn. You guys are in trouble now.
Do I have an idea where she is, or I just hear her?
Didn't I make her visible?
I don't see her yet on the map.
There she is. Yes.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Oh crap! She's right there.
She became visible because.
Oh, right about there.
Because of the fact that she saw the bear dead, and
okay.
I guess that
no problem.
took her out of hiding. That's my excuse anyway. Let me take out Elven Ranger also off the map.
Okay. All right. Halfling Rogue. So I am basically going to do the same process as last time. I'm going to move him about so many feet. So
So he's
5,
still sneaking.
10, 15. Yes, and I'm going to roll my stealth check. And I want to make sure I'm switched over to the rogue. So double click on his profile picture. And I'm going to go to his stealth. And I'm going to drag this and drop it into the dice tower. Now, I don't know what number I have to beat to be stealthy, but that's up to the game master to decide based on the situation. Another thing I can do is target him just so I have an idea of what obstacles, if any. I first clicked on my token, and then I hold down the right control key and I click on the black bear. And when I mouse over, see now I have part of the hillock in the way. So I could incur a penalty if I wanted to make an attack. Or I can wait for a better opportunity.
It doesn't have an eyeball anymore.
There it goes.
There we go. Visible to all. There you go.
No, not yet.
Enable, disable.
There you
LOS.
go.
I'm going
There
to
you
click
go.
that. There we go.
Yep.
We're working. Yay.
So
this is how you DM. You learn.
well, so all she did wrong is she went to the layers and turned off the map layer instead of line of sight layer. So you got to remember the maps are in layers, and you have to be in the right area to enable or disable things. So, anyways, you did it right now, and it's fine.
I believe I only have one layer.
So technically, according to this, if I move over, I could see the bear. So that's one good thing about line of sight is I cannot see the bear. So technically, I cannot target the bear, but I have it targeted just for distance and for line of sight reasons. So I'm done with my turn. I'm just going to have my bow ready, and I'm going to wait till my next turn to worry about that. And now up on top left, I'm going to make sure I switch to the cleric because that's my next turn, and I'm going to click end turn or turn complete. And now it goes to her. And when I go to her, I click on the token, and this is what I can see. I can't see the halfling necessarily. I know he's there somewhere, but I think you might have party line of sight on. I'm not sure. Technically, I wouldn't see where the rogue is. And there's a setting that you could turn on or off that allows you to either have party line of sight or not. So in other words, you keep track of where your party members are. In this case, I probably shouldn't be able to see the rogue, but nonetheless. So I see the other bear coming, Mama Bear, and this time instead of running, so Mama Bear's coming, and I'm a little bit freaked out. I don't want to fight this bear, and I know she's meaner than the male, so I'm going to go ahead and move. I'm going to make a dash, and I'm just going to keep running around this block. Of course, I have to move over that tree, so that might, in those bushes. So that'll probably slow me down. That's 25. And then going through here is probably going to cost me about 15. So that's, 45? Nope, that's about as far as I can go. And now I'm not visible to the bear.
Tree.
Yeah, the tree slowed me down, and the bushes. So the bear can't see me either. She might be able to smell me and hear me, but she cannot see me. So that basically, with that in mind, since I've dashed, I can't really do anything else. I'm just going to yell out to my companions, "There's another bear!" And then that'll be my turn.
So the bear heard you yelling.
Yeah.
And the bear is going to start going over towards where she hears the
noise.
Sound.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
She should have shut up.
How many?
40. So.
Okay, she's going to be able to get right next to you.
Oh, no.
Is she going to bite you? Probably shouldn't have warned anybody. And she does bite you. She grabs you by the shoulder, and she takes a big old chunk. And let's see how much damage she does.
Ouch.
So she gets you for 5 hit points damage, and she has multi-attack. So now she's going to claw you.
Mm-hmm.
And she does get you.
I'm like screaming, help!
What kind of armor are you wearing when you got hit by 17?
I don't know.
You have scale mail.
Chain. I have chain.
You have chain? You should have 18 for your AC.
I don't know.
Is your shield not equipped?
Probably not.
Okay, well, anyway, another 5 damage. And yeah, that's the end of her turn. Yeah, you shouldn't have yelled.
Not very smart, huh? Well, since the bear's occupied, I'm just going to move normally. maybe. So I'm going to first click on the halfling to take control of the sheet, and that brings up the character sheet. I'm going to move stealthily, so I'm going to take control of the character. Okay, I moved 3 squares. I cannot, well, I can sort of see the outline of the bear, but there's a height there, so if I did anything from there, it would be at a severe -5 at the best. So I think, you know what, I'm just going to deal with that, and I'm going to roll my stealth because I'm chicken. There's no way I'm running over there to help. So I'm going to stay there with my bow and hopefully get into a shape where if I see the bear, I'm going to attack it, with my bow. So basically, I'm holding my action and I have my bow ready. If I see the bear, if it comes into visibility, I'm going to attack it. So I'm going to hold my action. On some character sheets, you'll see there will be a button there to hold action, but we'll just make note of it. So if nothing happens by my next turn, then I don't get that action. So that'll be it for that. And now that I take possession of the cleric, I want to make sure that I double click on her portrait, I bring her sheet up, and she has quite a bit of spells here. So what I think I'm going to do is try to command the bear to sit, or to stop, or move away. Flee is what I'm looking at. So this is a first level spell. Now, it may be that the command is going to go against the character's wisdom. The character may not, or the target may or may not respond, especially if they're really stupid. Like if it's like 1 or something like that, maybe they don't know enough. But I think this spell will work on the bear. But in some cases, the command spell may not work depending on your target. This is going against wisdom and not intelligence, so I think it should work. So I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to cast the command spell. And I'm going to command the bear to flee, or to move away as fast as possible. So in this dialogue here, there's a cast button, which I'm going to drag and drop onto the bear, and hopefully the bear does not save versus that DC of 14. Dang it! So the bear succeeded.
Wow, that was really bad luck.
And that was a spell slot that I used up for that. So that was first level. And I'm going to use my bonus action to summon my spiritual hammer and use it to attack the bear. So this is a bonus action. What level is it first for spiritual weapon?
Second.
So I have to check that slot off because it's a second level spell. I'm going to activate the spiritual weapon on myself so that I know it's 10 rounds and that I have that spell active. I'm going to drag and drop the action of the save or the attack roll and the damage, but I'm also going to place this thing. So I'll right click on the map, click on pointers, and I'm going to draw a little circle. And that's going to be basically where my spiritual hammer is. What?
I'm looking at your sheet and I don't see spiritual weapon on your.
Well, I have it. It's a domain.
Sorry, yeah. Domain spell.
Yep.
I was looking in regular
yep.
spell.
And now I'm going to do the cast. And that actually hit. So the spiritual hammer connects, and this is all a bonus action. And it thumps them, so it's like a wall of force, basically.
Ow! It hits the bear in the shoulder.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So that's my turn.
A little bit of damage just makes bear a little bit angrier.
Mm-hmm. So that's about all I can do right now. I don't want to move because if I can't move forward into the bear.
Yeah,
I cannot move
for sure.
I can't move diagonally because this hammer's there, If I move to the right, that's not going to help me at all, and I'll be in the bushes basically. I can't move to the left because that's where the hill is. I'd have to climb the hill, and it'd probably be at disadvantage. So I gonna stay put and raise my shield and call it a turn. So I'm gonna click on turn complete, and I'm gonna get ready for the halfling if it becomes his turn. Okay, I'm ready.
So the bear is incredibly mad that not only did you kill her mate, now you're trying to kill her, and you've got this crazy little spiritual, some kind of
Hammer.
invisible weapon trying to. Yeah, but I don't know what she would think of it as a bear because it's incorporeal. You just can't really see something's attacking her, and she is going to attack you back with the bite.
Okay.
And she missed that time, but she has the second attack. She's going to claw you.
Mm-hmm.
And she did not hit you that time either. So, yeah, bad on the bear. And that ends her turn.
So the bear tried to claw me, and I think I raised my shield up in time to block it from connecting. So thank God. So the rogue is going to move again. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, and check his sight. So he's still not quite there. So if you look at the scheme of things, you can't really see the bear. So he's moving to that direction. He's going to move to the east when he's his next turn. But I'm going to go ahead and roll stealth since I moved. And on his sheet, on his ability tab or his skill tab, I'm going to drag and drop the total number from the right-hand side into the dice tower. So every round, if you move, you should be rolling against a number that your game master has set. And you won't know what that number is unless I tell you. And I still have my bow out, and like I said, if that thing comes in
that
my...
would be her...
Right. So if I basically, he's declaring that if he sees the bear, if it becomes visible, he will attack it, whether he has, sneak attack or not. Okay, cleric. So I need to double click on her portrait. Brings up her sheet. So I'm going to, basically, I'm going to do a Cure Wounds on herself. This is a domain spell. That's first level, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a couple things I can do. I can drag and drop it onto my token, or I can drag and drop it in the combat tracker. I'm going to do the combat tracker just so you can see that you can run an entire game in the combat tracker without a map. So if I'm going to do that, I'll just drag and drop it on myself. And it adds any bonuses if there is any. And it looks like I healed. Yeah, so I healed very nicely, and I check off my first level slot. And then as my bonus action, because I have the spell active, again, I'm going to cast the attack roll. And that looks like it should have hit. And there's another swat with the hammer on the bear. And I'll pass my turn.
Yeah, the bear is not understanding why something is attacking her that she can't really see, but she's
definitely wounded.
But she does see that she's a little hurt, but not too bad. She does see the cleric, so she's gonna try and bite the cleric again.
Okay.
And she does hit you.
Ouch.
Bitey bite, and she bites you in the opposite shoulder. Now you have 2 damaged shoulders.
Ow.
Second attack is going to be claw. She is going to try and rake her claws down your body, and she misses.
Yeah, so Sienna brings up her shield.
When she misses,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was just going to say when she misses, it's because she is still so upset that she lost her mate that she's not up to full her ability is not as good. So she'll pass her turn.
Hiana would say something like, if someone's going to do something, you better get your butt over here. Okay, so the rogue is going to move sideways 15 feet. I'm going to double click on his portrait, make sure I have his sheet active. And now I can see the bear. So I'm going to roll my stealth. And then Lady Shel can direct me. So I want to attack the bear, hopefully in a position where I can do more damage. So I'm going to make my attack roll. So do I get advantage or not, is the question.
Is it from the previous stealth that you rolled?
Yes.
The stealth that you
Yes.
just rolled there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get advantage. Well, you
Okay.
have a party member right next to the character, so you don't even need that.
Right.
You get advantage from that, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't do it automatically. I still have to apply it. I have to click on ADV before I make the attack. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. So on my character sheet, there is the bow. I've already have this thing targeted, so it's in range 25 feet. There's no obstacles right now. I see it attacking my ally. So I'm going to double click on the attack roll. Why did it roll that many? I double clicked. I double clicked it. That's why. Instead of single click.
Well, the first one was 22, so
yeah,
that hit. Well, they both hit, so it doesn't matter.
All right. So am I able to apply my special ability, or is it just a regular attack roll?
You can take your sneak attack, yes.
Okay. I apply that effect temporarily as it goes on there. Once I roll the damage, it's going to basically cancel it out. So rather than double clicking here, because I'm afraid it's going to double up, I'm going to drag and drop it onto the bear. Nice. So that arrow went flying into that bear. And it took off the damage. I will end my turn. And I will move on to the cleric. So I need to double click on her portrait. Brings up her sheet. And now she's noticing the bear is a lot more wounded, at least the way she looks. It says heavy damage in the combat tracker, so I imagine she's starting to bleed, or she's got a broken bone, or something's going on with her.
She is bleeding profusely.
Ugh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get her to leave. If I fail my command, I'm going to try command again. If I fail that, then I'm going to swat her with the spiritual hammer. If she ends up leaving, I won't attack her. So I'm going to do the command again, which is a first level spell. Hopefully it works. Dang it.
You're succeeded again. Wow, just barely succeeded.
Huh. And now I'm going to direct my spiritual... I checked off my usage. I'm going to direct my spiritual hammer. So attack. And for the damage... Ouch.
Yeah, the bear you see blood coming out of its mouth, and you see, its brains are starting to leak out where the hammer clobbered it on the head, and now there are 2 baby cubs with no mother or father. Thanks a lot, guys!
All right. So the bear is taken care of. So I want to dispel the spiritual hammer. So to get rid of this, I'm going to right click on the map, click pointers, and you have some options. So I'm just going to remove this, and that removes that. And then I'm going to check to make sure the bear is dead. Now I've already done all my turns for the round, so that's basically all I can do. I can move, though. I haven't done that. So I'm going to move here and here. And do I see the rogue? I mean, I knew he was over there somewhere because the arrow flew over there. My passive perception is 14. So do I see my own ally?
Oh, can you see him?
Yeah.
You don't see him.
Okay. So I know he's over there somewhere, and I said, "Thanks, wherever you are," and then end my turn.
Yeah, because you saw the arrow coming.
Okay. So he pops out of hiding, I guess, and he says, "Here I am. You're welcome. That was a close call." And she's like, she has a sigh of relief, and he walks over closer to her and he says, "You got to be more careful." And she's like, "Well, you should be watching. How come you didn't warn me before that first bear came down?" So they're having a little tiff between the two allies. So that's pretty much combat-wise. Or anything else, Shel, that we should do? That was 7 rounds, by the way.
I can't think of anything else combat-wise, but you guys might want to take a short rest and maybe use some hit dice and recover something.
Okay, good thing. So Lady Shel has suggested we take a short rest. So I will declare that. So yes, our party wants to take a short rest. So the game master has to apply the short rest, which she's done. It tells you in the chat. Now we can elect. Yeah, we can elect to do a couple things. So if I had a special ability like bards have a Song of Rest that would add bonus healing. In this case, we don't have that, but we do have our hit die recovery. So I can choose to roll after short rest and use one of my recovery hit die instead of a spell or a potion. So technically, I could use a spell, but I don't want to use any more spells. I'm low on slots. So I'm going to go ahead and use the hit die recovery. So all I have to do is double click on this hit die on the bottom of my character sheet. And that actually was a good roll, and I'm fully healed now. So I had 7 damage. I rolled an 8, plus she has a bonus. So she rolled a 10 total. So she healed 10 points, but I only needed 7. So that's that was a good natural recovery. So she probably like bandaged herself up, and she's a healer on top of that, so she knows what to do.
She got the +2 for being a life cleric, correct?
I think so. Let me double check. Yeah, so she has preserved life, and that gives her an extra bit of healing. So all of her healing, or most of it, is boosted because of her life domain. So because of that, she's able to, to withstand a lot of different things. And I don't understand what's wrong with her armor class, but her armor is not registering on this character sheet. So right now, Lady Shel noticed earlier that it should have been better. I have a 14. So it's not, it looks like it's taking the shield and the dex bonus, but it's not taking the armor. So I got to go look at the inventory, take a look at the chainmail, and what I noticed is it's not equipped. So this is something that you should do before the game starts. And we did look at it, and you did say something. But
gosh, your chainmail wasn't equipped.
Yeah, so
how did you even? Oh, that's why you lost. Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is make sure that it's on it's actually equipped. So now when I go back to my character sheet, it's 18, like Shel had said. So she did warn me, and I looked at that, but I didn't notice that the symbol was not.
You might have been looking at the shield to see if the shield was.
The shield was on. So that was on me. So that she even gave me an opportunity.
You did look at the chainmail.
Yep, she gave me an opportunity to fix it, and I didn't fix it. So listen to your game master and do what they say. So anyhow,
Can I say that in my very first character, In my very first character that I ever played, that is how I died, is because I did not have my armor equipped.
Oh, God. So that's something you want to check beforehand. So is there any other things, activities, other than resting and maybe talking that can happen here? Can we expect some experience
We
points or?
could, yeah. Why don't we pretend we're gonna level up?
Okay.
You two can level up from killing those two bears and making those poor babies not have any parents. Now you guys get to level up.
Okay. So if we had enough points to level up, and we're going to pretend we do, they would show up in here out of this XP, and if you have this set, you'd have your next level and your XP. We don't have it set for this video, but we can just show you what to do. So first of all, you want to make sure that you have the correct books enabled. So Lady Shel and I had prepared this. If you go to the library, you want to make sure whatever books you use to create the character with, that you have those enabled, and it looks like I do. So I have the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, the Player's Handbook, and I have some coding effects for the spells if I need them. And then I also want to go to Create PC because that gives me a view of all the different buttons I'll need for leveling. When I'm playing, I can go back to Play View. So to level up, I'm going to take the rogue and I'm just going to drag and drop this pin or this little circle right back in. So now he's leveled up to level 4 and I get to pick a ability score improvement. So I get 2 points to work with. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him, let's see, he's got a pretty good stats already. I want to say maybe give him a point in intelligence and then a point in con. And that's what I'm choosing. So on my character sheet, under abilities, it says ability score improvement. I went ahead and notated for my game master which ones I upped. And that's something you got to get in the habit of, is making notations, making sure that that's documented. Now for the dwarf, same thing. Bring up her class and level. I'm going to drag and drop this pin or this thing over here on the right-hand side. And there we go. So ability score.
Can I suggest that you also add what level you're doing the ability score improvement?
Yeah.
Because when you get it again at 8 or whatever, then you will know what you picked that for.
There we go. And she gets the same thing, but she gets ability score improvement, hit points for trait, and then she's got some extra hit points. She may even gain more spell slots. In this case, maybe she got an extra one. But nonetheless, I'm going to go to her abilities on the main tab. And I want to give her a +1 on con. And I'm going to give her a +1 on wisdom. And then I'm going to notate that on the sheet. So con, wisdom, level 4. And then if I wanted to swap my spells out, I'd have to wait till the next day to do that. So if we had a long rest, I could swap my spells out and change them up, or whatever, rememorize them. So I'd go into preparation mode and I'd prepare different spells and I'd talk to the game master about that. But that's basically, as far as I can tell. And then if you used up any of your inventory, like if you were tracking how much stuff you had, I would probably take off 1 day of food for rations. So I have 4 rations now, and then the cleric has 1 left. We'd have to think about gathering water.
Fill up your water skin.
Yep. So we could talk to our ranger or to our group and find out, if we're going to get supplies or in this case, fill up water. So that's basically all I can think of, like out of playing. Now, when we win or we are successful with this particular segment, we might get more rewards for clearing the area. We also might be given opportunities to meet other NPCs. There's all kinds of things that can happen. But that was just a real basic overview of how the combat goes. And then also toggling between 2 character sheets. And when I'm done leveling and such, I'm going to put her back over here and layer this character. So now when I want to see the character sheet, I can just double click on each character on the top left, and that'll bring up their character sheet. And this is provided that you're doing more than one. So you can control more than one, you just have to make sure that it's toggled between here. The other takeaway is the layout. You can see I got room for everything. If you're finding that your screen is not big enough to accommodate, you can do a scaling thing, but work with your DM on that. Or when you set up before you get into Fantasy Grounds, there's in the settings you can change your scaling from there, and that's more on a permanent basis instead of game by game. So anything else, Lady Shel, you could tell us before we head out? Anybody have any questions? Yes, Naughty Bits. Question on that. You should have the basic...
Did I answer that right?
I think so. So just load one or the other. So what she was saying is, if I'm not using the core rulebooks for that game, or should I only use one of the sets? So you can use the SRD and the basic rules. You don't need both of them, but the basic rules gives you a cleric, a full cleric. The SRD gives you the real bases of all the other classes. If you're going to build a Dwarven Cleric, that basic rule set will give you everything. If you're just going to build something other than that, then you will just load the SRD. So the SRD is kind of redundant when it comes to the basic rules, except for when it comes to building the cleric, because you get everything like you would with the player's handbook. But if you just have the SRD, just load the magic items and the base SRD. That's probably the only two. You don't need the creatures or the monsters. And that's going to be up to your game master anyhow. And you should have a license of some sort, whether it's a sub or something. Otherwise, it may not save your character unless you're attached to someone else's game. Anything else, Shel?
Also, I posted in the chat, I posted a tip that I will say vocally so that people that are watching this on YouTube can hear what I said in the chat. I said that before you level up, you should save a copy of your character at the current level so that in case something happens with your level up, you have a copy of the previous level.
That's right. I forgot all about that. So before I even leveled up, I should have asked Lady Shel to export the characters before.
I made a copy before.
Yeah, she made a copy before. And that helps her with the with maintaining the campaign in case we break something. Because when you build characters using this and not the character builder, you can't really go backwards. So if you accidentally drag over the wrong thing or the wrong level or whatever, it can break the character. So it's nice to have a backup to load. I think that's about it. You're going to call it a day. It's a little after 2. All right, so once I get time to edit this, we will upload it to our Fantasy Grounds College YouTube channel. It'll be episode number 4 on our playlist. Lady Shel has a pretty good setup of links and such. Join our community if you haven't already, if you want to learn how to use Fantasy Grounds. Looking for games. Generally, we don't sponsor games, but occasionally we do one-shots, Adventure League one-shots. Or if you're looking for a permanent game, you want to go to the Fantasy Grounds Discord or the actual website, and they have a looking for games section. Or if you join our community, you might learn some information and bump into some people that are already playing. Maybe they'll invite you in there. So anyhow, I think that's about a wrap